Welcome everyone, join us today as we pay tribute to William Shakespeare, the flamboyant Australian glam rock singer who lit up the 1970s with his bold persona and unforgettable hits like Can't Stop Myself From Loving You and My Little Angel. So let's dive in. William Shakespeare, born John Stanley Cave, on the 19th of November 1948, in Sydney, Australia. William was the only son of Stanley John Cave and Betty May Thursfield, and spent most of his early life in Sydney's inner west, in the suburb of Dulwich Hill. His parents ran a small fruit and veg shop on the corner, and the family lived in Kintore Street. Tragedy struck early, when his father passed away when William was just 14, and his mother died when he was 21, never getting to see the success their son would go on to find. After leaving school, William juggled a day job as a car detailer with singing in a local beat band called the Amazons. They played Sydney's club and dance circuit in the mid-60s, with bandmates Nick Barlow on guitar, Harry Bruce on bass, Chris Carroll on guitar, and Dally Carroll on drums. The group released a single, Ain't That Loving You, in 1966, but it failed to chart, and not long after, William struck out on his own as a solo performer. William continued performing in Sydney clubs under the name Johnny Cabe. In 1974, he happened to be at the Alberts recording studios while songwriting royalty duo Harry Vanda and George Young were working on a track called Can't Stop Myself From Loving You for another singer. The vocalist was struggling with the high notes that perfectly suited William's powerful falsetto. Recognizing the fit, Vanda and Young quickly signed him to the Alberts label. How they arrived at the stage name William Shakespeare remains uncertain, but in an era of flamboyant pop personas, Gary Glitter, Alvin Stardust, Elton John, Barry Blue, it certainly made a bold statement. Especially considering some of William's own suggested names, which included the rather forgettable Chico Runt and the bizarre X-Maglex, Shakespeare must have sounded like genius. Once signed, William was taken to King's Cross and dressed by a boutique that specialized in drag attire. He was decked out in a theatrical green suede medieval-style outfit with puffy sleeves, chunky costume jewelry, towering platform boots, and a rich damson-colored bouffant. He made quite an entrance on the countdown set, winning over a wave of mostly pre-teen fans with his theatrical appearance and stage presence. William later claimed he was once offered the chance to front a then-unnamed pub band that would become ACDC. According to his version of events, he passed on the opportunity after being advised by his manager that singing in pubs wouldn't make him a star. He chose the glam pop path instead, transforming into William Shakespeare. However, this claim was firmly denied by ACDC's founding brothers, Angus and Malcolm Young. William's debut single was a quintessential slice of glam rock. Opening with a moody, semi-spoken intro, it soon exploded into a bold sing-along chorus, driven by pounding drums, swirling orchestration, and swaggering guitars. At the center of it all was William's high-pitched, androgynous falsetto, equal parts theatrical and hypnotic. Can't Stop Myself From Loving You became a major hit, peaking at number 2 in July 1974 and remaining on the charts for 32 weeks. The song's popularity even extended overseas, with covers released by Billy Shake, Tina Charles and more, in the UK and Canada. An album of the same name, featuring mostly Vanda and Young compositions, followed and reached number 27 by November 1974. That same year, just in time for Christmas, William released what would become his biggest hit, My Little Angel. Another Vanda and Young creation, the track featured a seasonal Jingle Bells feel and told the sentimental story of a young girl who comes home from school heartbroken after being told angels aren't real. William, playing the part of her reassuring father, consoles her through song. Though the lyrics were often dismissed as overly sentimental, or even cringe-worthy, it struck a chord with audiences. The single shot to number 1 and remained on the charts for 23 weeks. Today, it's often included on daggiest or most embarrassing song lists, but there's no denying its cultural impact at the time. William had 2 consecutive major hits and seemed poised for a long pop career. However, his momentum was abruptly halted. After My Little Angel, he faced serious legal trouble after an incident involving an underage fan led to a conviction. His public image was damaged and his career derailed. Although he denied any wrongdoing, the situation cast a long shadow over his success. Following the controversy, he released 2 more singles, Just the Way You Are in 1975, and Last Night in 1976, but neither charted. He left Albert Productions in 1977 and faded from the music spotlight. Changing musical tastes and the fallout from his legal issues meant his time as a pop star had come to an end. A long struggle with alcoholism and lifelong depression made William deeply uncomfortable around strangers, with panic attacks becoming a regular part of his life. Even during his peak, he admitted to feeling anxious for days before going on stage. Tragically, these ongoing issues led him into the care of the now infamous psychiatrist Dr. Harry Bailey, at the center of the Chelmsford Hospital scandal, where several patients died, or took their own lives, following controversial and unregulated treatments. On his wife's recommendation, William was admitted to Chelmsford. There, like his friend Stevie Wright of the Easy Beats, he underwent deep sleep therapy combined with electroshock treatment. William later blamed this period for much of his physical and mental deterioration. Thereafter, William worked for many years as a car detailer at a Holden dealership in Arncliffe, New South Wales. In late 1992, he made a brief return to the public eye with a guest appearance on the Countdown segment of ABC's The Late Show, performing My Little Angel live. Sadly, his ongoing battle with mental illness and alcoholism took a heavy toll on his personal life. By 2001, he had fallen on hard times and was homeless, living rough, sleeping in an abandoned ticket booth near the St George Leagues Club in Kogarah. Luckily, William found kindness and support from the local community and the St George Leagues Club, where staff looked out for him, gave him food, and kept a caring eye on his well-being, efforts that likely helped save his life. He also found help through the wider music community. Lindy Morrison, former drummer for the Go-Betweens, stepped in after learning of his situation. She arranged accommodation and secured ongoing financial assistance for William through Support Act, a charity dedicated to helping musicians in crisis. Though he continued to rely on their support, his mental health remained a constant struggle. He often expressed regret about the past, wishing he had made different choices. One of his deepest sorrows was the estrangement from his only daughter, a loss that continued to weigh on him in later years. By 2009, William was living in government housing in the southern Sydney suburb of Riverwood. He had been making progress in managing his demons and had cut back to just one beer a day. Sadly, on the 5th of October 2010, William Shakespeare passed away suddenly from a heart attack at the age of 61. News of his death prompted tributes across the Australian media, celebrating both his brief pop stardom and the struggles he endured in later life. In an interview a year before his passing, William became visibly emotional when asked how he wants his legacy to be remembered, saying, "I love every person who bought one of my records. I just want people to remember me as someone who brought a lot of happiness into people's lives." And there you have it. Though William Shakespeare is no longer with us, his brief but unforgettable brush with stardom left a lasting imprint on Australian pop music. From glam rock anthems to personal battles, his story is one of highs, lows, and resilience. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos just like this. Take care and bye for now.